Emojis, or emoticons. We all know what they are, and we all use them daily, whether it's brain rot or everyday social media usage. I mean, they're omnipresent. Around 20 years ago, it was new and exciting, but today it's just pure nostalgia. So let's run it back and take a look at how it was back then and how we got to where we are right now. The year is 1999 and we're in Japan. You see, Japan is often the place of technological advancements. Back then, mobile phones had limited bandwidth and very small screens. So Japan's leading mobile phone carrier at the time, the Docomo, wanted to make messages just faster to read and also more expressive without using a lot of characters. They needed more emotion. Shigetaka Kurita, a young interface designer at Docomo, stepped in and designed a set of 176 emojis, each just 12 by 12 pixels. They included faces, weather icons, everyday objects, and symbols. At first, they were used for emails and short messages between Japanese users, but it was an instant hit. Even though it was a local thing, this small idea spread like wildfire in Japan. But it took a decade to reach the West.
One eternity later.
This basically set the foundation for what we have today. Fast forward 5 years. The year is 2004. A little website called Facebook is born in a Harvard dorm room. At first, it was just plain profiles and messages. No likes, no shares, and definitely no emojis. Just text on a white and blue page, and that's pretty much it. There was nothing else to do until 2008, when emojis have entered the scene. Facebook Chat was launched in April of 2008, and it brought all those little symbols, which were actually called emoticons, not emojis at first. And yes, it's crazy that there was no real-time chatting before this update. Like you didn't have a chat box or whatever. Crazy, right? Anyway, the chat was added itself, and so were the emojis along with the chat. Emoticons, sorry. However, they were hidden. There was no pop-up menu. You had to know the secret codes, and that's it. Type a colon and a parentheses and boom, you've got a smile. And some of these weren't obvious at all. There were hidden emoticons, like you type this for a penguin, or this for a shark. You didn't just stumble upon these by accident. You usually learned them from friends. And that's what the hype was about. There was also a robot if you were to type this. And there was also Putnam. Type it and suddenly a pixelated portrait of Chris Putnam, one of Facebook's engineers, would appear.
Here's
Putnam. To most users, this was pure mystery. Who was this dude, and is this freaking Justin Bieber? What the hell? But for Facebook, it was an inside joke. Putnam had a reputation for being playful with code, and so he got his face as an Easter egg within Facebook chat. Okay, fast forward 2012, and Facebook adds the chat emoji menu bar, making them accessible to everyone. At around this time, there was a massive global explosion of emojis as well. For example, Apple added their emoji keyboard, and there was a bunch of other things and places where you could find them, like Instagram, Twitter, and so on. But today, in 2025, it's very different. Because back then, sending one emoji, it meant something. Nowadays, people just spam entire paragraphs of these things, and it's pretty much meaningless. It may mean nothing. You're having a nice and meaningful conversation. You're rizzing it up when she replies with just 3 laughing emojis, and you're just cooked. Brain rot culture is where it's at today. I know that emojis aren't particularly a reason to that, but they certainly helped shape things. It's crazy how we barely even notice tech evolving, but when you look back a bit, even with emoticons, you realize that the internet grew up so fast, and so did we along with it. 2008 was 17 years ago, but honestly, in these terms, it feels like more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.